Boogie2988, aka Steven, aka Francis, was just exposed for faking cancer for years and using it to promote a scam to his fans. Nobody really thought Boogie had the ability to stoop this low. Boogie got his fame many years ago when he was uploading videos in his famous Francis character, where childlike temper tantrums and extreme narcissism were in all of his videos as a common denominator. Well, as the years went by, people started to realize that Steven wasn't playing a character at all. And in fact, he was just a grown man with the unquenchable thirst to be a victim to whatever he could be a victim to.
How do you diagnose yourself with this kind of stuff on a fly?
I don't know, from therapists and therapy.
Yeah, Boogie really screwed up this time, and I don't think he's going to be able to fix his reputation, no matter how much Keemstar wants to beat this piñata for the last views before the piñata falls off the string. So just at the end of June and going into July, Boogie decided to scam his audience with a crypto coin that he jokingly endorsed, knowing that a good portion of his audience would buy into it. And they did. A lot, actually. Then he got on a call with CoffeeZilla, basically admitting that the entire thing was a rug pull. But his entire excuse in this whole thing is that he just didn't know it was a rug pull while it was happening, and he was just oblivious to the entire scheme happening. Since there's somehow still an audience out there that actually believes in the words that come out of Boogie's mouth legitimately enough to invest their hard-earned money into, I figure even if just a few more eyes see my video, it's worth it for you guys to know he's a big scammer. To me, it's actually pretty sad to see how much potential Boogie had so long ago. All to do shady thing after a deplorable act that slowly narrowed down his audience to what it is today. Just a teeny tiny audience that Boogie has serving as his last ditch effort to stay afloat as YouTube's biggest punching bag. By choice, that is, because Boogie does it to himself. If you just take one look at the shady company that paid him to promote it, you could start to smell dead fish in the water. By the way, here's a quick look at all the top wallets that existed for Fatty Coin right after it pulled. Because I'm sure Boogie's fans that bought into this are sure feeling super pranked right now. Like they're super in on the joke that Boogie was doing. And who really knows if Boogie actually was intelligent enough to realize how many of his fans he was actually going to screw over here. But it doesn't excuse him for actually being negligent of the entire case.
Fatty is a community for like-minded individuals that are broken free from the matrix. True happiness comes from a goldfish, from the same woman a couple of nights a month, and the occasional meme coin. Fatty for life.
Looking at his post on June 26th, I can't really identify where the comedy was, where the joke was at all, which CoffeeZilla did point out during the phone call where he called him out for his fake dumbass facade.
And you think that's okay to then financially tie money for yourself where you could hurt your audience? Do you think that's fine as long as you say, oh, join it and you can lose some money? Even though you know with your following, people are going to invest in that.
I mean, I'm steadfast in this. Yes, I believe that if I got paid to tell you don't buy something, I'll gladly take that money. If I get paid to tell you this might be dangerous for you, invest smartly. Yes, I think I would love to get paid. I'd love to be paid to be an example of somebody who lost their ass in crypto.
What? We just witnessed top tier gaslighting firsthand. It's crazy how much he just tries to turn everything around when he clearly knew what he was doing to his fans here. And listen close to his excuse here.
If I'm being genuine with you, and I do want to be genuine with you and the rest of the internet, I'm in pretty dire need of money. I have a lot of medical bills and I'm fighting cancer.
He said as soon as the money was transferred to him, he had to spend it on cancer treatment so that he could apparently stay on track with it. Yeah, Boogie's been using his cancer diagnosis as an out, like an excuse, for quite a few years now. And it wasn't really a surprise to see him lean on it this time too. I do think the internet was kind of skeptical on the whole cancer diagnosis situation that he was claiming, but I don't think anybody, including myself, wanted to actually believe that he was using this excuse unless it was an actual legitimate excuse. But just 2 weeks later, Boogie went on Law Call Live, as normal, where he was confronted by a guy named Destiny, where they said this.
Boogie2988, you are being confronted tonight.
Go ahead.
I am 99% sure that you are faking.
No, don't move.
You are faking your cancer diagnosis, Boogie.
Okay, let's hear that.
Let's hear that.
Did the doctor ever tell you, or did he ever say the word cancer?
He said polycythemia vera, which is a form of cancer, as he explained it to me.
Everything I say is a lie, except that, and that, and that, and that, and that, and that, and that.
And no, it is not secondary polycythemia, which is Nicholas Diorio's explanation for this bullshit.
So I think it is secondary polycythemia.
Well, then
can you
why
explain?
would he call it polycythemia vera? Why would he tell me that I have hormone markers in my blood that tells me I have polycythemia vera? Why does he order a bone marrow biopsy to confirm it?
I didn't know how to explain what Boogie's doing here, answering questions with just more irrelevant questions. So I did a bit of research, and it turns out it's called evasion ethics. Basically, it's the act of deceiving by stating a true statement that is irrelevant or leads to a false conclusion. And I think that's really relevant here because Boogie keeps expecting other people to know what he's supposed to tell them. In my opinion, it's just a huge form of gaslighting and misdirection, so he doesn't actually have to answer real questions or show real proof.
Well, if he ordered a bone marrow biopsy to confirm it, it would be weird that you told us that you already had a diagnosis and a confirmation.
Because the markers are in my blood. The hormone markers are in my blood, Destiny.
Correct. But you said that you'd received a diagnosis, but now you just told me you got a bone marrow biopsy.
It's a diagnosis, and now we're confirming. It's called a confirmation. The hormone markers are already in my blood.
Yep.
And
So I think
we are confirming it with the biopsy because I'm wanting to do that because I'm praying to God I don't fucking have cancer.
And there it is. A person who is praying to God that they don't have cancer can't actually have cancer. Otherwise, they'd be cursing God that they do have cancer. Oh my God, this is like trying to watch a cat swim. This is so pathetic.
I'm praying to God I'm taking the 1 in a million fucking chance that they're fucking wrong.
1 in a million chance? Where did you get that number, Boogie? The same place that you got your cancer diagnosis?
And there's another reason that I have the hormone
What was my lie again?
imbalances in my blood.
My gosh, that was a trip to watch. This actually made the internet suffer the worst mixed emotions possible because even though they didn't want him to have cancer, they kind of did want him to have cancer for the sole purpose of him just having told the truth the entire time about it. And as you saw earlier, Boogie heavily leaned on the cancer excuse to get himself out of any blame for the fatty rug pull situation.
Yeah, why are you praying to God 2 years after you said that you have cancer, that you don't have cancer?
Because 2 years ago, they told me I have polycythemia vera based on the fact that I had increased red blood cell counts, increased hemoglobin, and the hormone markers in my blood. And it all spelled pretty definitively that I have this. And so he wanted to get a bone marrow biopsy, but it is intrusive and expensive, so they decided to forego it. I would like to still get it done because I am hopeful, I am praying that there's a fucking merciful God of the world that would be willing to fucking let this be wrong, even though it most certainly is not.
So why are you talking about expensive cancer treatments if they don't even know if you have cancer? That nothing has been.
They're treating it, dipshit. Because they've been treating it for 2 fucking years.
How are they treating it, Boogie?
Blood test, blood thinners, bloodletting, medications. They're trying to get my weight down.
Yeah, it's a pretty clear sign someone's lying to you when you confront them asking for proof and all they can get you is hypotheticals. Like when asked why do you have cancer, his answer is why wouldn't I have cancer? Like that is the most brain dead response Boogie could have given here. You cannot assume you have cancer and then use it to your benefit because that just ousts you as a person that cares more about what you can get from the cancer rather than what it's taking away from other people, which is horrible.
Excuse
You motherfuckers were in my marriage. You guys were in everything else. You're in every aspect of my life. Let me have one goddamn thing.
You're trying to tell me.
Let me have cancer.
I would rather TrentCetera tomorrow lead Boogie lies about cancer than to hand this over to you pieces of shit. That's just.
This?
I'd rather
Can
do
you
that.
get-
I'd rather
can you
do
get
that.
access-
Go ahead,
Boogie,
print it,
Boogie.
TrentCetera. Go ahead and print it.
Can you get your patient portal up on your phone and like send it
Sure,
to Tommy?
and I'm
or
not going
somebody?
to. Sure,
He's never doing that. He does not have a cancer diagnosis. There's 0% chance he has one. Every leading thing for this cancer diagnosis the doctor talked about has to do with secondary polycythemia. The sleep apnea was a contributor to that, and the TRT was contributed to that.
Except for the hormone markers in my blood.
Yes, Boogie. Except for the thing you're just assuming right there. It's crazy that he just breaks down and says, let me have this one. But literally, how desensitized to common sense does Boogie have to be to think that people should just let this one go when there's so much proof that he doesn't have cancer? And Destiny then drove the nail in the coffin by saying this.
If Boogie can confirm, that he has polycythemia vera, and he actually has like a doctor confirmation of the blood cancer, I'll throw $5,000 towards his medical treatment. I'll make that personal pledge right now.
Hey, you need the money. You need
You got
cancer.
in my medical records for 20, not for 50. You know?
And not only was it 50 grand, but after some other creators threw some more money into the pot because they basically knew he was lying to begin with, it became 80 grand. All Boogie had to do for that 80 grand is just show in private his medical records to just one person, and he still wouldn't do it. Man, this basically proves it, because if he's willing to take 5 grand to promote some sort of shady cryptocurrency over literally 80 grand just to show one random person who doesn't have to go public proof that you have cancer, then his money-driven motives just threw him right under the bus here. Based on the things that Boogie's done in his past, there is no way he wouldn't just slap his medical records on the table. Man, shit, if it was true, he probably would have done that long time ago for free just to prove and get more of sympathy money from people. I mean, at this point, I can confidently say Boogie doesn't have cancer. Until he does. That's how cancer works, right? After Destiny left the podcast, Boogie was literally left there in silence with no excuses. Hopefully, any of his fans that he has left, leave him in the past where he hurt himself, not others. Now, quickly, if you're still not convinced, CoffeeZilla posted a pretty good timeline of events, showing that Boogie was tripping over his shoelaces while trying to get all of his stories right, only to contradict himself over and over again.
I have no idea if Boogie is faking cancer. I also don't understand why he wouldn't just show it if he had a diagnosis, but either way, we won't know without an actual doctor involved. So I won't speculate on that, but what I can do is confront Boogie on this second claim, the cancer and medical bills, because I found out a few days ago that these statements were false. I know this because Boogie gave us a timeline of when he got paid in the first place. So when were you paid the $5,000?
5 days ago.
Later, I verified with Boogie this payment occurred on June 19th. And when Boogie said all the money was gone on June 26th, that gives us a window of time where he should have receipts for about $5,000 of medical expenses. Boogie, when I asked, agreed to share these expenses with me, and the following conclusions are based on him providing accurate records, which I know is a dubious idea, but when he shared what he had, it fell far short of even what I was expecting. He gave me 2 receipts for the time period, one for $154, the other for a copay of $60, a total of $214 by the time we talked. So where did the rest of the money go? Well, Boogie claimed that it was really intended for medical expenses after we spoke, and that when he said the money was gone, he meant it colloquially and then accused me of lying.
It's actually crazy to me. For what the rest of the world sees as lies, Boogie sees as loopholes that you should let him go through because he's suffered so many things that he's done to himself over the years. So I guess he wants you to feel bad for him? Like, buddy.
Manipulating us, you're manipulating us, you're manipulating us. You did a whole documentary where you can't get a job because you're a felon, because you're fat, and because you're crippled. Stop manipulating us. We know you can't get a job. This is your only chance, and you're going to take it. You're going to take it, and you're going to win. You're actually going to thrive like you've been thriving for the last 20 years. But this time, you're going to do it under honesty and not lies and manipulation. And, hey, guys, I'm the Mr. Rogers of YouTube, and I love you so much. No, you're going to be real for once in your life, and you're going to win. No more L's. You're going to stack the W's so high that people forget all these L's that have laid to your face over the last decade. Do you understand me? Get motivated. Do something. You lost 24 pounds, and all you can think about in your fat head is how you're going to gain the weight back instead of being grateful and excited looking at the future. We're gonna lose more. Oh my God, I don't have to drug more. You've never needed the drug. You've never needed crutches. You've had the power within you to succeed from the very beginning. Your fat disabled ass became a millionaire. Did you forget about that? On YouTube for a decade.
I was never a millionaire.
Yes, you were. Yes, you were worth over $1 million. Your entire net worth. Yes, it was. Yes, it was. Yes, it was.
Are you dissociating like for the last few days?
Yes.
How do you know you're dissociating? People are dissociating, have no idea they're dissociating. How do you diagnose yourself with this kind of stuff on a fly?
I don't know, from therapists and therapy.
Man, the moment someone gives Boogie a joking excuse, he grabs onto it like a life buoy. Only thing is, there's no rope attached, so he just keeps drowning in a lake of his own lies. Man, You can't make this up. I mean, this guy really did make his own bed with his recent scam and lying about his cancer diagnosis. And when you look back at all of his previous posts over the last couple years, you realize that he's been riding this excuse and putting it away wet. There's also a tweet by Keemstar going over everything that he's figured out so far, where he said, "Best of my knowledge, based on everything I know, Boogie went on steroids that could cause cancer in the blood years ago and was warned of the dangers. 2 years ago, after he lost all of his money in crypto, he went to the doctor and had high red blood cells indicating he may have cancer in his blood." May have is a very far cry away from does have. And he goes on to say, before he got any confirmation, he rushed to make a YouTube video announcing he had cancer. What? Whether it was promoting his crypto scam or asking people to financially support him lying about the cancer could be considered fraud. He was scheduled to get a confirmation test to see if he actually has cancer soon. So ironically, even though he has lied, he may still have cancer. Whole thing is just sad as hell. And I mean, if that's true, Boogie has certainly solidified himself as the biggest internet victim.
Spoiler alert, it's probably true.
I mean, yeah, Boogie's obviously suffering, but from his own hand, and the internet has honestly been really forgiving of him in the past all the way up until this point. So it's like that old saying, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make it drink. Keemstar seems to think that if Boogie just comes clean, then he would be able to come out on top more and in Keemstar's words, become bigger than he's ever been before. But at the end of the day, with a history like Boogie has, stacked on top of the recent events that just happened, it's going to be really hard for anybody to gain any sort of trust in him anymore. I do, however, think that there is an element to where Keemstar realizes that without lolcows, lolcow live can't exist. Because the fact that he just got Boogie to literally agree to tattoo the word liar across his cheek does as well seem kind of counterproductive to helping him, you know, get better. I don't know. Everyone has their own reasons why they think Boogie is lying. For me, the fact that he took 10K to promote a cryptocurrency, which by the way, he only got 5K from, you know, the other 5K they just didn't give to him. So he kind of got scammed in this too, which is a little bit funny at the end. But, you know, the fact that he accepted all that money from them, but won't accept way more, 80,000, and it probably would have become over 100 grand if he would have been like, all right, I'll do it if it was 100 grand. He could have literally milked this, but instead he showed his true colors, and I really don't think that he was telling the truth. Nowadays, everybody knows of or has a family member who has battled with cancer, and some of us have actually lost a friend or a family member. So in no way does the world feel any type of sympathy for this lying, manipulative guy. And if he does have cancer, this is going to be one of the biggest boy who cried wolf situations the internet's ever seen. Thanks for watching.